Actors have a platform, but what do they choose to do with it? Today's guest, Cait Alexander, has decided to help people. Cait, welcome to the spotlight.
Bobby, Bobby, thank you. Thank you for having us. We have a couple little fur critters here too.
Oh,
So
that's cute. I'm not sure we can afford
Here's
his per diem, but
yeah.
it's good to get him in there. Look,
Are you expensive, sir?
you've had a really cool career, and you're really doing a lot of important things for a lot of people. But let's start at the beginning. Let's start with your career, so people can see that you've been doing this for a while. You're very accomplished, and then we'll talk a bit about your activism. But let's start with your entertainment career. So, how long have you actually been in the entertainment industry?
I feel since community theater days when I was 7 or 8 years old, I just always had a penchant for everything creative and artistic. I mean, I was a Royal Conservatory kid in the music since I was 5. So
Mhm.
it's been quite a it's been a lifelong journey, if you will, and I love everything of that it's provided, and I'm still madly in love with it.
Okay, and in terms of an act, because I know you've actually done a lot of things. You're actually, I don't know if everybody knows like really how talented you are across the board. But in terms of acting, like what are your like the favorite roles that you've played?
I loved being a part of Handmaid's Tale. I had a character in season 3, and it was so. And this we were filming this what 2019, 2020, into 2020, and it was so impactful to be a part of the show that has such a strong character arc, but also has so much meaning in real life and so much public commentary in a creative way. And obviously, the genius of Margaret Atwood. It was a really beautiful show to be a part of. Tough show,
Mm.
tough show. There were some tough days. Lots of cold days. That those in the scenes where there's breath, that's real breath. But that was a really really important show for me. Star Trek was also a really great one. I was always mesmerized by the tenacity of all of the talent and the crew. Those were uh, the sets were just magical, and the impact of being part of such a franchise. And then,
Mm.
I mean, I have had a very diverse career. I've played the bad girl too, in many a Hallmark movie, and I love doing that as well. I like playing sassy characters. So
Well, and you're sassy in real life too, but you're also very sweet, right?
am
And
I?
you're very no, but you're also like talented and brilliant and stuff. Because it's like I think a lot of people do know you as an actor and but you do a lot too. You write music, right?
Yeah, I actually I have one song out right now, and I have two more releases that are coming soon. They've just been a little bit delayed because of all of the charity work that I've been
Mhm.
doing, but I am really excited for that next chapter. I love film composing. Sorry, my puppy's eating my hair.
Right.
Pero, that's not a snack. It's not a snack. So, I mean, I love the musical side of things because it's your voice. It's really what your vision is, and you can cross genres. And there's really no blueprint once you understand music, theoretically or emotionally, and you can combine that to create whatever you want. And I think we've seen that with artistry in the last couple of years, particularly, where we've got country mixed with R&B mixed with all of the EDM. Like it's like I love music's my first love. Above all
Oh,
else,
really?
music's my first love. And yeah, and I think that's really where I see myself, because it's just I've written thousands of songs that haven't been released, and I want to share that with people, because I think it's the universal language that connects with cross cultures, cross religions, cross races, and we need more connectivity in this world right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
Uh, look, you're so fascinating. Like there's all these layers that I feel like people don't know about you. And I remember, like, I knew you a little bit, but we spent some time together in LA where I really got like just a bit of your depth. I was like, oh my goodness. And then we start getting into your activism in the next segment, which I mean, I was like, you really touched my heart, and what you're doing is inspirational, especially with what you've gone through. But let's talk about that in the next segment. We've got Cait Alexander for 3 more segments on the Spotlight. Welcome back to the Spotlight. I'm here with Cait Alexander. Okay, Cait, let's talk about your activism. Tell me about this really important organization that you've created.
So I founded End Violence Everywhere, Eve, across Canada and the United States. We're a registered charity supporting survivors of intimate partner violence, domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. And it's been the most horrific and beautiful experience, because I firmly believe that the apex predator of our culture are these violences that are predominantly wielded against women and children. And it's been an honor to serve and have the trust of so many people that have been through the most heinous of crimes.
Mm-hmm. Look, and I don't know how much of your own story you want to tell, but why did you actually start this organization?
I was a child sexual assault survivor, and in that all precluded the attempt on my life by my ex-partner in Toronto in 2021, July 31st. And he nearly bludgeoned me to death with his fists, a wooden rolling pin, door wells, whatever he could find. And thankfully, my agents, actually, at Hero Artists, were the people to call the police. So I was incapacitated to a point where I wasn't conscious at a certain level. But then once they were tipped off that something was wrong by a director friend of mine, they took it upon themselves on a Saturday night in the middle of summer to say, this just isn't normal. And I am alive because my agents really cared.
Yeah, and I'm trying to just stay objective. It's news content, but I mean, it's so powerful, like what you've gone through, and I've seen the pictures, and just to know you as a friend, I mean, it's terrible. But
Mhm.
at the same time, what you've been able to turn that into, I mean, I'm just so proud of you as your friend and as someone in the audience who roots for you. Going, it's amazing. So you created this organization. You're helping so many people. You bring so much awareness. What are your goals for the organization?
Oh, we have massive goals. Currently, right now, we offer end-to-end advocacy services for survivors, and they can reach out on social media and get directed to our welcome. I don't like to use clinical language because there's so much jargon that survivors have to go through walking through the family court system, the criminal system, and whatever. So we have a welcome team that then meets with the survivor and does we meet survivors where they're at. There are no two situations. The abusers might be the same, using the same playbook, but there's no two situations from a fundamental perspective or from a needs perspective that are absolutely identical. And so it's been a game changer, and we've been able to advocate politically very successfully in order to make significant change and save the lives of many people and their children. And it cannot be overstated the absolute dire need that so many innocent people are in. It's horrible to see this every day, and the systems are failing. They're failing, particularly in Canada, abysmally and dangerously. And we have lost more women in Canada in the last couple of years through intimate partner violence than we have, I think, ever before in history. Human trafficking's up 118%, intimate partner violence up 75%, sexual assault 68%,
Mm.
because Canada's justice system is broken. It's failing, and the people that are running it are incompetent or inadequate and seem to want to ignore the problem and their responsibilities as leaders.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was in the courtroom, when that decision came
Ah,
down for you, and I was, I couldn't I couldn't even wrap my head around it with all the pictures and the evidence, and so I guess I just don't understand, but I really respect what you're doing because you're also really helping to get the word out. You're teaching people like me. I have a platform, and you're always doing interviews, and you're very well spoken. I don't even know how you've learned all of these things on top of making music. Could be an actor and a model and all these things. It's pretty remarkable. But let's get into activism in the next segment because it's you're such a powerful voice, Cait. I'm so happy to have you. We've got Cait Alexander for 2 more segments on the Spotlight. Welcome back to the Spotlight. I'm here with Cait Alexander. Okay, Cait, I mean, look, I really need like 98 hours to interview you, but we only have 2 more 5-minute segments, unfortunately, but there's so much power in everything you're saying. Let's talk activism because, it's a very performative industry at times, but you're not at all. It's one of the things I really love about you, right? You're very Cait all the time, which is so important, especially when you talk about political activism, really making an impact. How important do you view political activism in the entertainment industry?
In relation to what specifically? In
Like,
relation to the
I would
AI
say,
or like the unionized stuff? Like, what are we talking about
I
here?
would say the need to be political generally. Let's start there.
Okay, that's that. I don't think it's for everyone,
Mm,
and have. I don't think that people should get up on stage and just say what they necessarily think, that if they're not educated properly in that department. I tend to steer away from the if I wasn't in the room and I didn't witness it, whatever the media is portraying, I get weary of that because I've been in the situations where I was in a committee meeting in Ottawa, July 31st, 2024, and the government of Trudeau's government at the time basically shut down the conversation about intimate partner violence, and I walked out. And then on the internet, that got spun around by particular, commentators or whatever into an entirely different situation than what actually physically occurred in the room. And that's when I recognized how dangerous all of these couch experts can be, right? And I use experts in quotations, because unless you're physically there and witnessing these decisions, we've become so accustomed to just making political commentary. And I think celebrities and people in the entertainment industry really need to be educated about what they are communicating to their fan bases and to the public at large. And when it comes to intimate partner violence, I got the t-shirt. I've
right.
lived it. I know what I'm talking about. I know the laws. I've lived the failures, and thank you again for coming to court for me on March 26, 2024. That was very generous of you. But I think we need to be significantly more cautious and careful in the evolution of these medias to actually speak the truth, not just have an opinion and be able to decipher between what that is. And I think we also need to be able to have honest and open debate. We've really lacking that culturally. It's
I,
so polarized.
I know the guest has a good answer when I change the questions based on what you just said because like you took it to a completely different place that I had no idea that those I don't know I guess those issues present themselves. So it's interesting what you're saying, right? Because it's funny because the entertainment industry is kind of siloed and it's we're trying to be like it's like quick little feeds. Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think? But like what you're talking about is so serious, and so there's this disconnect between like the soundbite culture and the truth of the issues, right? So I guess how do we reconcile these two things?
Tell people to shut up if they don't know what they're talking about,
Mm,
and allow people that are educated or actually lived through the experience. There's so much value in lived experience
mm.
and not jumping on bandwagons. And I've been being able to see the other side if you don't agree with someone politically, and see them as a human being first that might have a different eye. And that goes for both if we're talking left and right, blue or red, which are the opposite in Canada versus the United States. But uh, that goes for all people. We need to come at this from a human perspective and not think that we're almighty. And that is where we will actually see intelligence grow instead of decline as the way it is, because we're in our own little vortexes. And social media is exceptionally powerful, but it's an algorithm and it spits out what you feed it back. So I think we're at a pivotal time, and we need to have these types of conversations, and we need leadership to be able to uh, not think that they are the almighty, and real leadership can know when they're wrong too.
Well, in terms of leadership, I mean, I don't know if you want to run for something at some point, but I will vote for you because I knew you were smart. I didn't know you were this smart. I don't know. You're just your media. Anyway, Cait, I got to go commercial, but this is going to be a very powerful episode. We've got one more segment with Cait Alexander on the Spotlight. Welcome back to the Spotlight. I'm here with Cait Alexander. Okay, Cait, I mean, look, I'll vote for you if you want to be the mayor of LA. I mean, I guess I can't, or the prime minister of Canada, or, your work's going to be up in the Smithsonian, or you're going to, play some concert hall somewhere, like, or model anywhere you want in the whole world. Like, you have so many options in front of you. What's next? Like, what do you actually want to do?
I really want to focus on music. I really thank you. I'm very humbled by your declaration to vote for me. I been offered and asked many times, but I'm not sure. If I don't want to become a part of the party politics, and that's what I'm fearful of in that world. I think also we're in a very powerful position with end violence everywhere, and being able to use the media strategically to help save lives. And I think I might be of more value outside of the House of Commons or the White House or whatever. So I graciously thank you. I don't know. You never say never. Who knows? Who knows? But it's not like the main goal right now.
Right.
So I've actually founded a production company with Ava Blackwell. You should have her on your show. She's one of my castmates from Star Trek, and we are working on telling survivor stories in an ethical and truthful way. There's been, true crime's a massive, one of the biggest genres on all of the streaming services, but a lot of the times we've seen the exploitation of survivors in the telling of their stories and promises, and then they're just left with nothing. And I think that's the last thing that media should be doing. We have a very, very big true crime show coming up, which I will disclose later. I'm really excited about that, with one of the longest standing ones. And I've been working on a documentary about Eve and what I went through and what survivors and the failures of the justice system have been doing. There's so many artistic elements that are being brought into advocacy. And I really think I'm so lucky, so lucky and so fortunate to be able to be in the cross parallel of both of those worlds. And it makes me exceptionally happy because the public believes me. I know I have substantial evidence, but I was believed, and that allowed me to live truthfully and honestly and not hide behind the veil of shiny Hollywood or pretty pictures. So I'm very grateful for the public for being so receptive, because it's given me the confidence and the ability to create real impact. And my team, the Eve team, Alexis, Sarah, Danielle, Tariq, beautiful, on our board. You can't do it alone. You can't do anything exceptional alone. And so we have to recognize the people that we have around us for making everything so fortuitous.
Look, we only have a minute left, and this show is what, 22 minutes long. It's not enough, because what you're saying is so important. So obviously we want people to support you. So what's the best way people can support you and your organization?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. www.endviolenceeverywhere.org. That is the charity's website. Hit me up on social media, Cait.Alexander across all platforms. Good old Google website. I'm searchable, and I try to respond to everyone in a relatively timely manner as much as possible, because I understand that it's really important for people to feel seen and heard. So I'm grateful to be alive, and excited about what's to come. Like genuinely very excited. I there's so much in the works, and it's all it all feels amazing.
Well, like it's beautiful to hear. Obviously, like we're friends in real life, and whatever you're doing, let me know how I can help. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Thanks, everyone.
In the sometimes selfish world of entertainment, it's always refreshing to see people who genuinely care about others. And those are the people I'm always happy to support. We'll see you next time on the Spotlight.